Hey guys, this is Natalie from Inspired Alignment. I'm coming on today to do a reading from the Divine Feminine's higher self to her Divine Masculine. This reading is going to be timeless, so whenever you come across this video is when the messages will be meant for you. Please take whatever resonates. If it doesn't resonate, just take, the things that do and then leave the rest. Also, this video is, may not resonate with everybody, but I'm sure that whoever it is meant to resonate with it will come across this video and find the messages to be helpful. So if you like this reading, please give this video a like or leave a comment in the comment section, and please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and see what we get for what the Divine Feminine's higher self would like her Divine Masculine to know during this time. Does the Divine Feminine's higher self want her Divine Masculine to know? Messages from Divine Feminine's higher self. Okay, so the first card I have here is the Eight of Wands. Second card is the Death card. Okay, and then we have the Nine of Wands. And underneath the deck we have the King of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and the Six of Cups. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is that there's definitely like some kind of communication that for some of you guys, I see that maybe there was a cutoff in communication. I feel like there may be like some blockages in communication, and for this particular message I feel like it is like physical communication. So this isn't so for those of you guys who are in contact with your Divine Feminine, it looks like was something that happened with the communication that was cut off at some point, and because of that, it looks like somebody is really kind of like protecting themselves or guarding themselves. And I feel like, this is like being done out of fear in some way. So I'm not sure if this is the, I think that this is two different messages. So the Divine Feminine is trying to tell you that if there was an abrupt cutoff or some kind of cutoff in communication between you guys, and you have tried to speak to her or reached out or something in some way, that you may find that she is defensive, and the reason why she is acting this way is out of fear that she's going to like get hurt again, or that this communication will get cut off again, and so she's just kind of like on guard and protecting herself in some way. Now for others of you, I feel like this could be you. I feel like the feminine may have been on guard and defensive towards you about some things that may have taken place within the relationship. There was like a cutoff of communication within the relationship, and now now this energy has kind of switched. So it's like you're feeling kind of like on guard and defensive, because I think that you're afraid that like the same thing is going to happen again. I also see here that the full moon is significant. So something, if something took place around a full moon, or specifically the full moon during, so this would have been the Gemini full moon that we just had, I'm pretty sure. Um, but, you know, I guess it could be any. I just pick up like the sign of Scorpio here. So something could have happened like during the end of October, beginning of November. And it could have had something to do with like the new moon or been somewhere around there. But like, I feel like some of like these like secrets or like skeletons started to like come out of the closet. And now there's like this defense going on because of it. So, I mean, that's even a whole other message here. Like, there could have been some communication about some secrets that were revealed, and now somebody is like really on guard and defensive, or they're trying to still kind of keep some of this under wraps. I also am getting a sense here of like third party situations. So, you know, if you have two different women in your life, or you're juggling two different relationships or two different things here, this is playing a part in like whatever has recently taken place, with like maybe like secrets coming out and somebody trying to protect themselves and kind of be defensive. So I mean, I'm not really picking up like a direct message from the feminine right now. I'm just kind of getting this circumstance. So this could be a possibility that this is for a specific group of people. And so if this seems like it's resonating with you, then this is probably going to be like the messages that are for you. So I'm going to take some clarifiers on this and see what wants to come through for, you know, what she wants to kind of say about this. Okay, what does the Divine Feminine's higher self want the Divine Masculine to know during this time about this situation here? Okay, what does she want him to know about this Eight of Wands? Okay, so the wishing well. This is, you know, hoping and wishing for the, like, communication. Like, wanting and desiring this communication. So she wants and desires to be able to communicate with you. I think even regardless of whatever the circumstances that's taken place or things that have taken place in the past, like, she is still saying that, like, she desires to still be, you know, communicating with you, or be some way kind of like in touch with you in some way. But that might not be happening right now, maybe because of whatever the situation is, but it's like something that she definitely wants. But I'm getting like for some of you guys it might not be happening, and for some of you guys it's just the communication isn't that great either, and like, you know, she's just wanting you to know that like it's important to her, and like it's something that she really kind of like desires and wants, like clear communication, you know, free of like some like conflict and stuff. So let's see what she wants you to know about this Death card. What does the Divine Feminine's higher self want her masculine to know about the Death card? Okay, so here we have, well, this is like, this card in this deck usually is choice. Like there's two choices, two paths. A lot of times I do pick it up as like a twin flame card, because it shows like the masculine and feminine side of it. But I'm getting that like there's, you know, she wants you to make a choice. If the choice, if there is a choice that needs to be made, obviously she's asking you to go within and kind of recognize this twin flame connection, you know, and just recognize like what this connection, you know, really is, and make like your choice based off of that. I'm also seeing that like, you know, there was maybe an ending in this connection. There was an ending or a separation within this connection. I'm going to pull another card on it. Let's see, like, what does she want you to know about the ending? Like, so if there was an ending with somebody in particular, like an end, and there was like some rough communication, or like some secrets are coming out or something, and you're unsure if this person is your twin flame, I think this is kind of telling you that they probably are, if there was like a specific situation that ended with communication. So here we have the clovers. So this is, you know, telling you that, you know, that if there was an ending and you're feeling bad about it, or there's something about it that kind of has you like in a negative frame of mind, and it has to do with the ending of, you know, this relationship, or like a choice that had to be made, that it really is for the best. Like, she's saying that there is a reason why it happened, and that you just kind of have to go on your specific path at the moment. Like she's kind of like going on her path and you're going on your path here. But there's a reason for that, because you guys are both having to kind of learn something or do something within your own like personal lives first, before you can bring this union back together. And look at this, you guys. This is 22 and number 2, so 222. So some of you guys, you know, that could be significant for you if you see, you know, lots of twos or triple twos. That could be a special message for somebody in particular. So let's look at the Nine of Wands. What does she want you to know about the Nine of Wands? Okay, so here we have, you know, like this communication kind of thing again. And it's like, almost like it's blocked. It's either blocked, or it's just somebody is really, really afraid to communicate the truth of a situation, because they're afraid of something. There's like fear going on here. So what does she want you to know about it? Like, yeah, definitely there's like some secrets or something that that you're keeping. I'm getting this is the masculine. The masculine is keeping something secret. He's not communicating something. He's trying, I feel like you're trying really hard to kind of keep it hidden. And like she's kind of telling you to not do that. And if it does create an ending, then that's okay, because it's just meant to happen that way. If it creates like some kind of a choice that needs to be made, or an ending or whatever, don't be afraid of that, because it's just going to set you guys off into, you know, the directions that you need to go right now. And so if there's something you're holding back or hiding or keeping from her, you know, she's basically telling you that it's best to kind of let this out, that this is going to be like for your highest good, and just like the highest good of the whole entire situation. Because I think holding this in and being like stuck in fear is just keeping you stagnant. You know, so she's basically telling you, you know, not to be afraid of having to make a choice, or having to release, you know, some kind of information, that it's all going to be okay. And if, you know, there is an ending or a separation that comes of it, then it's kind of like meant to just kind of happen that way for right now. So let's see what else we get here with the King of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles. So this could be about a third party. It could be about another situation that you have within your life that maybe you aren't talking about. But let's see. Okay, so I have the bridges here. So So what I'm hearing is bridging the gap. I feel like there's like gaps of like missing information, and like somebody needs to fill the gap pretty much. They're just there's like things that aren't being like discussed or talked about or worked out like the way that they're supposed to. And like there's like this like information or communication that kind of needs to come in. And I mean it definitely could be about a third party situation. It could be something that took place in the past. It could be, I mean, it could be having to juggle two different circumstances or situations. It could have something to do with finances, and maybe like a lack of finances. Or maybe there's like still, somebody else like that's involved in the situation that like you're having to maybe help in some way. And I don't know. I'm just getting here that like there's too much missing, and like there needs to be like a bridging of like the gap basically, so that some of this stuff can start to like move forward. I just feel like there's like too much, like almost like too much that you're holding on to, and she's basically like telling you it's okay to release that. And if it's telling her something or telling somebody else something, like she's telling you to just kind of do it, just release it, that this is going to be okay, like you're supported, and not to be like afraid of it. So I'm going to pull some cards here to see what she wants you to know about the upcoming future energy. What does the Divine Feminine's higher self want her Divine Masculine to know about the upcoming future energy? Okay, so here I have Temperance. And this is kind of like, in the traditional tarot deck, like this angel is like mixing the two cups, kind of preparing it, like and balancing it. In this card, it's like the cups have already been mixed, and now they're being like served to the places that they need to go. So again, I do get a sense of possible like separation of a situation here, but that it kind of needs to happen that way. Like somebody or something is needed in one direction, and somebody and something's kind of needed in another direction. And here underneath the deck we have this like Five of Pentacles. And so this is like feeling left out in the cold. And so it could be that this like this separation, or this kind of like dividing of ways, I think that you're kind of feeling like you're gonna leave people out in the cold by like making this move or doing this thing, and I think that like that could be like your perception of it. Like that's kind of like what you're afraid of. You're afraid of leaving people feeling this way. But like we have, like a guardian angel here basically kind of monitoring and looking over this situation, and like they're saying not to be afraid of this. And this right here underneath the deck is kind of telling you, to really kind of reflect on why it is you're so afraid of these things here. Why are you so afraid of like being left out in the cold or leaving somebody out in the cold? What is the core root and reason for why you have that fear? And like, why are you so fearful of letting go of certain information or certain things that can kind of help you to move forward in a situation, and kind of looking at what is it that you're afraid of exactly? What is the real core reason of why you're experiencing some kind of a fear here? She's really saying to look in the mirror and really kind of reflect on what it is that's making you afraid to do a certain thing in your life. And then here I have the Four of Pentacles, and like he's got like this like death, skeleton coming for him. And she's kind of saying that like if you keep just holding on to all of this stuff that you're holding on to, and you just hold on to it so tightly and don't move or try to, get into a different, space, that like, this reaper is like kind of coming, like to force it to happen, maybe in a way that you're not going to really like. I really feel like this is a message of her telling you to maybe do this yourself, do this, in a way that you need to do it, or that you feel, is best. And obviously stay in integrity, but, do the right thing, or do whatever it is that you need to do before a certain situation comes into your life that kind of does it for you, and you really don't have a choice in how it's done. So yeah, that's like, kind of like a future potential here. So let's look at what else the Divine Feminine's higher self wants the Divine Masculine to know. And I'm picking up that like right here in this Four of Pentacles, he's holding on to these 3 coins so tightly, and then he's got this coin on top of his head, and it's almost like he doesn't know it's even there because he's clenching these other 3 so tight. And like this like little Reaper guy is like gonna just take it, like, because he's so focused on what he's holding on to, that he doesn't even realize he's got that one on top of his head. Okay, so what else does the Divine Feminine's higher self want her Divine Masculine to know? Okay, so we have the Heart Taurus, and it was in the reverse, so I'm going to read this from the book and see what it says. This is number 48. Okay, so this card reverse says, you have been too much in your head of late. Enter the Heart Taurus and consciously reconnect with your heart. Definitely. Fear is the other side of love. And so it's like, I am getting this big sense of you being caught up in this fear, like you're afraid of something, you're afraid to kind of reveal the truth, you're afraid to kind of move forward in a direction. And what really kind of stands out to me is it's like I feel like you already know, you already have a feeling, you already kind of know what direction you need to go in, like what certain things you need to cut out, or what people you need to tell what. Like I think that you already have like a sense of kind of what needs to happen, but it's literally just the fear that is holding you back from actually doing it. And she's definitely like making this really known right here, and kind of highlighting the fact that you are basically living in fear. You're living in your thoughts, and she's kind of like telling you it's okay. It's okay. And she's almost kind of giving you like a warning, like, if you don't kind of try and take action soon here, there might be some unexpected things that are going to take place that are going to force the change to happen anyways. Yeah, and so, she's telling you to connect to your heart, connect to love, connect to your inner knowing, connect to your emotions. If you have to try and meditate, try to do like maybe a meditation that focuses on the heart chakra, or just kind of, sit and kind of think about things that make your heart or your emotions feel a certain way, because I feel like the masculine energies, are like really try to avoid this at all cost. And like this is kind of telling you to just, even if it's for a small amount of time, step away from everybody else and the rest of the world, and just get in touch with that heart center and your emotional self, because I think you will find some answers within that, if you are feeling at all confused, to help you kind of know what direction you have to go into. And, you know, for those of you who already know, this is just going to kind of, I think, like really motivate you a little bit more to start to move into that direction. You know, and this is a big message here too, that she's telling you, you know, to stop focusing on what your head is telling you and start focusing on how you feel and what your heart is telling you. You know, and don't be so afraid of what is going to happen to everybody else and all these other circumstances around you, because everybody else is going to be okay. But you can't sacrifice your happiness and live in fear because you're worried about what is going to happen to everybody else. And, you know, she's just kind of letting you know that here. So I'm going to pull a message from the Lightworkers Oracle. Let's get one message here to see what Divine Feminine wants the Divine Masculine to know during this time. What else does the Divine Feminine's higher self want the masculine to know? Okay, we have Earth Healing. This is number 38. I'm going to read it from the book. You know, and I really feel like, you know, like it's like I hear her saying, you know, that she wants you to know that even if you're not in communication, or even if you guys aren't like physically together, you know, that like she's always like by your side. And you may be almost like feeling this. You could like maybe feel her presence, or sometimes even smell her or hear her voice or something. But she's wanting you to know that like she's always there kind of supporting you. And so, you know, if you feel alone, or like you feel like, you know, really kind of down and out, like she wants you to know that she's there supporting you and caring for you during this time. So, you know, even if you're not in communication or you're not physically with each other, just know that you do have this support. She's always there next to you. So this Earth Healing says that you are making a real contribution to the planet through your spiritual journey. Remember this and believe that your needs will be generously met by the Earth and the universe. What you are doing matters, and you will be supported. You know, so if there's a certain decision or something that you need to do that, and something's holding you back, like this is your divine path. This is your divine destiny. If you've got an inner knowing or an inner feeling to do something, you know, just really do that. I'm going to read the invocation too, because I think it's important. So this says, through unconditional love, I am empowered to live my divine destiny. I trust in my gifts and talents. I know that all I need for divine success shall be provided for me. I now choose of my own free will to release any blocks, consciously or unconsciously held, around trusting the earth to provide me with all that is needed to fulfill my divine life purpose. I am so grateful to receive all that I need and more. I feel much joy within me about my life, what I am capable of, what I have attained so far, and how much I can offer to the earth. I live from my heart with absolute trust. May all beings know their genuine worth and have confidence to express their grace through my own free will, so be it. So I feel like, you know, this is really saying that, you know, you're afraid of losing things, and we've seen that here with you clenching on to you know, maybe material things or situations in the material world. You're afraid that you're gonna be desolate, or that, you know, you're gonna lose something that you really need, but this is saying that you're not. You know, just continue to flow forward, because what everything that you need is going to be provided to you. There's nothing to fear. There's no reason to be afraid. You know, that's not how we're meant to live. That's not how you're meant to live. You know, it's kind of, you get to this point where it's like, what am I living for? What am I doing here? Is it to be in fear and feel like I'm always in lack, and to work so hard to pay bills, to die? Like, no, that's not why we're really here. And I think that, you know, you know, she's asking you to really kind of look at the bigger picture here, you know, and she's kind of telling you to, you know, get over, you know, or try to, you know, work through this fear and start to move forward. And that she's here supporting you, as well as the universe is supporting you as well. So I'm going to pull one more card from this oracle deck. What last message do divine feminines? Okay, let's see. Intuition. Okay, so definitely. And then underneath that we have hope. So, have hope. Know that, the things that you really truly want, deep down, that those are possible. And this is telling you to stay positive, to know that they're possible, to have hope for the future. And then here, we have this intuition. Get in touch with how you're really feeling, and all this stuff within the mind, and all of this fear of like what's going to happen if I do this or do that. That is really like holding you back, and ultimately it's going to pull, if you know that you're doing something that isn't for your highest good, and you're just doing it because you are afraid of something happening or losing something. If it's not for your highest good and you know it, something is going to eventually come in and tear that whole thing down regardless. Because you've got, we're at a point now where it's like, you've got to start getting on that path. And sometimes we need a little bit help. We need some help doing it. And it always turns out great. It always turns out wonderful. So, I'm not trying to make anybody scared or anything, but it's like, if you just do this on your own without having to have the universe come in and do it for you, I feel like this would be a little bit easier for you. But really, in the end, it all ends up being so worth it, and it all ends up happening for the right reasons. I mean, I've had some super terrible things happen within my life that seem so terrible at the moment, but then after it happened and looking at it now, it's like I see exactly why it happened the way it did, and how it had, how and why it needed to happen that way, and it put me into a much better place now. So this intuition card says, listen to the whispers of your heart, use divination tools to help you decide, trust your intuition no matter what. So if something's telling you that something isn't right, or that you need to kind of move into a certain direction, or just something doesn't feel good, pay attention to that. Pay attention to that and start kind of making some changes here. So you guys, I hope that these messages helped you. I will see you soon. Take care.